Prepare to have your mind blown as we dive into the world of nuclear weapons. In this video, 15 mind-blowing nuclear weapon facts you won't believe, we uncover astonishing truths and little-known information about these powerful devices that have shaped global politics and military strategies. To date, the most destructive weapons on the planet are nuclear weapons. They have the capability to destroy an entire city, potentially killing millions of people and endangering the environment and future generations due to their long-term catastrophic effects. The United States and Russia possess 90% of all nuclear weapons in the world, representing over 12,600 nuclear warheads, enough to annihilate the entire planet. These weapons pose the greatest threat to the existence of human life. In this video, we'll present 15 incredible facts about nuclear weapons that will leave you amazed. Number 1. The most powerful nuclear weapon in the U.S. arsenal has a yield of 1.5 megatons, equivalent to 1,200,000 tons of TNT. To put this in perspective, the atomic bomb Little Boy that was dropped on Hiroshima during World War II had only 15 kilotons, meaning one of these current weapons is equivalent to 80 bombs like the one dropped on Hiroshima. Number 2. Modern nuclear weapons are far more devastating than you might imagine. It's not just a single nuclear warhead that gets launched, but several, carried and directed by intercontinental missiles. Russia, for example, is building a new missile called the RS-28 Sarmat, capable of carrying up to 16 nuclear warheads, enough to destroy every U.S. city with a population of over 1 million. The United States is also developing such missiles. Number 4. In 1965, the Soviet Union created a lake using nuclear weapons. They placed a 140 kiloton device in a 178-meter deep hole in the dry bed of the Chagan River, creating a crater 400 meters in diameter and 100 meters deep. The lake, known as Lake Chagan or Atomic Lake, remains radioactive, although in some areas it is safe to swim. Number 5. Most countries keep the locations of their nuclear weapons secret, but Pakistan transports its nuclear weapons in civilian vehicles without defenses or armor, in broad daylight, on some of the country's busiest streets. This means that a car thief could find a radioactive surprise in the trunk. In 1961, a U.S. military plane accidentally dropped 2 hydrogen bombs on land. These bombs had 250 times the destructive power of those that destroyed Hiroshima and Nagasaki. One of the bombs began to deploy its detonators, and 5 out of the 6 safety mechanisms were triggered. Only one switch prevented detonation, which would have caused the most devastating nuclear explosion in history, destroying cities like Washington, Baltimore, Philadelphia, and even New York. Between 1950 and 1968, over 1,200 nuclear weapon accidents were recorded in the United States. The fireball produced by the Hiroshima bomb had a diameter of 370 meters and reached temperatures of over 6,000 degrees Celsius, hotter than the surface of the sun. In 1991, after the collapse of the Soviet Union, Russia transitioned from a communist economy to a war economy, which negatively affected the security of its nuclear stockpiles. This incident occurred in 1993 at a shipyard near Murmansk, where a thief stole enriched uranium by cutting a common padlock. The material was traced to the home of a Russian naval officer who thought he was stealing an old bicycle. Today, nuclear materials still appear on the black market, and the only thing preventing someone from obtaining a significant amount of nuclear material is its high cost. Number 9. It's not easy to find people willing to push the buttons that would trigger a nuclear apocalypse. For this reason, the U.S. Air Force requires all candidates guarding missiles to sign a written pledge to follow the president's orders in the event of a thermonuclear war. A serviceman responsible for this job commented that during training, you are repeatedly asked if you are willing to launch the missile. Over time, you realize the importance of the job and are willing to do it without hesitation. The training is designed to make you focus on following the process quickly, without thinking about the consequences. Number 10. As part of NATO's nuclear weapons sharing program, the US has provided nuclear weapons to Belgium, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, and Turkey for deployment and storage. Since all these weapons are protected by permissive action links, the host countries cannot arm them without the authorization codes from the US Air Force. It's like taking care of something you can't use. Number 11. Incredibly, there is a lost nuclear bomb somewhere off the frozen coast of Greenland. In 1968, a B-52 bomber crashed, and although the US government reported that all 4 nuclear bombs on board were recovered, in 2008, the BBC reported that one of them was never found. Ready for a radioactive treasure hunt? Number 12. Out of more than 2,000 nuclear test detonations, only one has an unknown nationality. In 1979, a 3-kiloton bomb detonated in the Indian Ocean in what is known as the Vela incident, named after the satellite that detected it. No nation has claimed responsibility, leaving the true cause of the explosion potentially unknown forever. Some believe it could have been an attempt by the US to tighten global nuclear weapons laws. Number 13. Nuclear bombs have always been difficult to handle, but in the 1950s things were even more complicated. The US military developed the SDM, or Special Atomic Demolition Munition, which was basically a nuclear bomb in a backpack. The idea was for special forces to carry it into enemy territory to detonate it. Despite efforts to make it lighter, it was still a nuclear bomb and soldiers weren't thrilled about carrying it. The SDM backpack weighed between 36 and 45 kilograms, like carrying a small teenager into battle. Fortunately, the project was abandoned. Number 14. In 1966, the US lost a hydrogen bomb in the Mediterranean Sea and spent several days searching for it. Eventually, a Spanish fisherman found it and turned it over to US authorities. The Secretary of Defense valued the bomb at $2 billion, so the fisherman requested $20 million, 1% of its value, in accordance with maritime law. The US Air Force reached an out-of-court settlement for an undisclosed amount, and it's said that the fisherman now enjoys a comfortable life on a Mediterranean beach. Number 15. Deciding how and when to deploy a nuclear weapon is probably the hardest decision a human being can face. In the US, the nuclear protocol is specifically designed to eliminate any complex decisions for the president, giving him about 4 minutes to choose from a limited set of options, the same time it takes you to choose a combo at McDonald's. The response to a detected enemy nuclear launch is based on the idea of a retaliatory strike, ensuring that if I go to hell, you go with me. According to Walter Slocum, former Undersecretary of Defense, the window to launch a retaliatory weapon under attack is less than 30 minutes, but most of that time is spent detecting the enemy launch, transmitting and confirming the message through the correct channels, and finally informing the president, who has only a few minutes to decide whether or not we'd like to live in a wasteland.